Now let's talk about one of the most hotly debated topics in the EB5 visa context, and in fact one of the key decisions which an EB5 investor has to take, and mostly it's a decision that takes the maximum time, and also one is not able to takes this decision so convincingly. Now, what is that particular point? That particular point is what is better for an investor applicant? Should he make a direct individual EB5 application, meaning should he make a direct investment of $1 million, or should he, instead, as far as the EB5 green card is concerned, go through the regional center route? What again, let's just go back to what a direct investment EB5 is. It is a situation where you do not invest through a regional center and you wish to meet the requirement of EB5 visa investment by investing directly into a new commercial enterprise that is either directly owned by you or by your wife or jointly. Such a new business can even be in partnerships or collaboration with US citizens or green card holders. So primarily what you do is you directly invest into a new enterprise, either as a sole owner or in partnership with others. And so long as you do the minimum investment of $1 million under a direct investment route, or for that matter even $500,000 investment by investing into targeted employment area, such a particular business, if you are doing in collaboration with other Americans or green card holders, it's not a must that you hold a majority stake. You could even have a minor stake in a commercial enterprise, so long as you do the minimum investment of $1 million or $500,000 if you are investing into a targeted employment area. What are the advantages if you do investment, meet the EB5 visa requirement by making direct investment? What are the advantages? Now, one key advantage, and that's a real reason why majority of investors, majority of applicants, EB5 applicants even think of making direct investment, is that you have full control over your investments and on the American business that you start. So you feel that being a direct owner or part owner of that business, you can control the funds and how they are utilized, and also you have satisfaction of managing the affairs of the business on day to day. That's a huge advantage, an advantage you surely do not have in a regional center, because in a regional center at best you can be part of the policy making decision, but surely not day-to-day management of its affairs or for that matter funds that are invested. You can all the profits that are generated, and that's a second advantage when you go through a direct investment route. All the profits that are generated by this business, they are all yours. So you are assured of a return. If that business makes money, can even be assured that you are making money out of that investment, not only getting an EB5 card, green card, but you're also getting return on the business investment that you do. But do not forget that even losses are yours. Business may not always make money, but to start with, as an advantage, clearly if the business generates profit, no doubt the money is all yours. And also we all are familiar with a term called goodwill. You spend your time, money and resources and energy on starting, initiating, running and managing a business. So over a period of time the value of the business goes up. So it's not only the money returns in the immediate future we are talking about, it's also goodwill gets multiplied of that business, and that's another advantage that one has, that goodwill can be encashed at a later stage if that business does really well. So there's a second advantage one has. Third advantage, that is that such a direct investment in the EB5 program brings in, is that after your conditions have been waived, you can sell part or whole of the business and make money. That's again a huge advantage you have, And of course, it goes without saying that, because you are managing on day-to-day basis, so you can keep a very close eye on that fact that whether jobs are being created or not. Those jobs are created, then to that extent, the uncertainty of a conditional waiver, when your condition on the green card is to be waived after 21 months, that uncertainty whether the jobs are created or not it does not exist. It goes away when one is managing the business himself, if one is sure about creating jobs in the first instance. You can also invest into a new business, or you can invest in an existing business so long as it meets job creation requirements. So these in summary are the advantages of a situation where you go through direct investment. In a nutshell, you are managing the business yourself, you are supervising the job creation yourself, you are earning and taking home the profits that the business brings in, and you can also take a minor stake if you want in a business so long as you meet the minimum requirements. Now, what are the disadvantages if you file an application under direct EB5 rather than in a regional center? First and foremost, it's very easy to say I'm going to invest in a business myself and manage it. But what's your need? You want an EB5 card. And then this particular program is open only for 3 years until September 2015. Keep that in mind at this stage. And first, how long are you going to take to decide which business are you going to invest in? How many visits to USA will it take for you to decide which business you are going to invest in? How much of attorney fee are you going to pay, or accounting fee you are going to pay to an accountant to, really speaking, get the fair value of the business in which you want to invest in? How much time, in your opinion, you are going to take before you can finally decide on which business you are going to invest in? All these things are important because, remember, EB5 program, you must file along with your I-526 petition your business plan, how it's going to create jobs, which business you're going to invest in. So how much time it's going to take, and how the cost that you may incur in simply choosing the business that you want to invest in, something you should consider. There are so many indirect and direct costs that you will incur in choosing the business in the first place, so that $500,000 that you are trying to save by investing in regional center, you may be, to start off, to have a business plan for a direct investment, and choosing it itself, you may be investing a good amount of money to select that business that you want to invest in. So the entire responsibility of the EB5 application process, the documentation, including business plan, dealing and coordinating with attorney, the immigration agency, lies with you. In case of a regional center, the regional center has done all the work for you. They have done the business plan, they have taken the required approvals. USICS is familiar with what the center is going to do and how they are going to create jobs. In this particular instance, where you are doing the direct investment, you must hire an attorney, you must hire an accountant to make a business plan, and the entire responsibility of taking the required approval for the USIC from USICS to make this particular investment as part of the EB5 program lies with you. And this application may even face refusal if documentation and the business plan is not convincing on many counts. So you may go all the way, do all the research, take all the precaution, and still it may not be found to be good enough by USICS as an EB5 plan. So your application may not be accepted. So you have to take that risk into account. In case of a regional center, that risk does not exist because the approvals have already been received by the regional center for that particular project that they want to carry out under EB5 program, for which you will do your investment. And what are we trying to do? Essentially, I come back to the same point. So when we are trying to avoid investing in regional center, what are we trying to do? What we are trying to do is we are trying to save to secure that investment of $500,000. But that $500,000, let's say you are trying to save, and to reach the stage of getting an EB5 approval, for the purpose of filing the application, let's say that by that stage itself you incur a cost of $100,000. You can incur that cost. You are paying to an accountant. You are making different exploratory visits to choose such a business. You are boarding, lodging during such visits. Your fee to the attorney to do due diligence. Your fee to the accountant to do due diligence on the business that you want to invest in. So the starting point could itself be cost of $100,000, where that one could factor in towards around $100,000, I may add. So from $500,000 that you are trying to save, straightway you are incurring to startup cost itself of around $100,000 in a direct EB5 application. So you need to decide, really speaking, whether you want to really speaking take the initiative of investing under direct EB5 on this direct investment on this key ground. Even when let's say some people say that we will also do direct investment, but we'll also go through targeted employment route and just invest $500,000. Very good, but who's going to identify the area in which you're going to have that investment is a target employment area? Identifying a targeted employment area itself is a onerous and a very difficult task, and again you will be incurring costs in identifying such a solution, and not an easy task to identify such an area. Let me just put it that simply. Responsibility of running and managing the entire enterprise lies with you in this particular case. You say fine, I'll happily do it, but the nature of clients that we deal with for EB5 process are very different. Most of them have they're running businesses, hugely successful enterprises in the country in which they already are in. And do you think it's going to be easy for you to manage your American business successfully and at the same time keep your give equal time to your current businesses or operations in the country in which you are in? So that's one factor. And secondly, running and managing an enterprise, you're familiar with the current business environment in the country you are in right now, but US is a different environment altogether. So managing and running direct initiative is not easy in a new environment, is not very easy, so to that extent you are increasing your risk, not reducing, by taking full responsibility for running and managing the enterprise. And if you feel that you can reduce this risk by hiring local professionals and executives, well, they are expensive. That brings on to the next key area, that to create those 10 direct jobs is your responsibility. EB5 program does not permit you, if you are going through direct investment route, that you can take advantage of 10 indirect jobs that are created, an advantage that lies with a regional center. And if you have any idea about American economy, the wages, the salaries, the minimum wages and salaries, and the social security benefits and all the related issues that an employer requirements that employer must meet, regulatory requirements the employer must meet, you will realize that creating 10 direct jobs is not going to be an easy task. You really need to be running a business of a good size to be able to create 10 direct jobs. It's going to be very, very tough, very, very difficult. And just look at it this way, you're going to create those 10 jobs so that you can get your condition waived. And in the process, you may end up hiring staff that you do not need. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to save some money in $500,000 regional donor investment, center investment. You're trying to save some money just because you want to have control over managing the business, just for that reason. But in the process, what you end up doing is you may end up hiring many people that you do not need and incurring actual business losses, because you're hiring people you do not need. You're having overheads that you do not need to incur in the first place, and you end up multiplying your losses in the business that you're directly managing. So you're trying to safeguard your $500,000 invested through regional center. So you ended up investing huge amounts in creating a business plan in the first place, in identifying a business. Then you run the risk of losing further money by trying to hire 10 Americans or green card holders just to meet the job creation requirement so that you can get the condition waived. It's maybe easily said than done. And mind you, $1 million investment is a minimum investment requirement. If you in a targeted employment area, that's a minimum investment. But you speak to somebody who's been in States, who is a successful businessman in USA for some time, and he will tell you that it may not be easy to have 10 employees and running a $1 million business. So what may in fact mean is that you may end up investing much more than $1 million or $500,000 in a targeted employment area. It may not stop there. So you started with thinking that I'm going to invest $1 million, but your actual project cost may go up to $1.5 million, $200, $2 million, depending on the scope and size of the business, just because you're required to hire and create more jobs just to meet the conditional waiver requirements after 21 months. So that's a huge risk that you may have just because you want to directly manage a business. You need to be very cautious of it. These are some of the key issues in this particular case. I may also add, a regional center, for example, has an advantage. So it works through two ways. It can either invest into equity of an investment or a business that they're investing in. It can even loan out to another commercial enterprise that's creating jobs, loan out funds. So for a regional center to meet the job creation requirement becomes easy because they can even loan out to other enterprises that may have successful business plans, whereas you don't have that advantage. You cannot loan out to a third party under the direct investment proposition. You must invest directly and you must manage that business yourself. You can, like I said, regional center can count indirect jobs that are created. You cannot do that. You have to create, you have no option but to have 10 jobs directly created by you. It brings me to a very interesting aspect finally, when you're trying to decide between a direct and a regional center option. What exactly are you looking for when you're looking for an American green card? You ask your children, you speak to your friends, and you will say that, you know what, I want to live in a city like New York, I want to stay in Los Angeles, California. So you want to live in populated societies, right? So you say that, I'll invest into targeted employment area. They are rural areas, or they are areas with huge unemployment. So you can rest assured they are not the big cities that you're talking about. So what are you doing? And then most of the time when you do through a direct investment route, you have to basically, if you go through the targeted employment area route and want to invest $500,000, you have to basically live in those very thinly populated areas which are not as developed as bigger cities and not that secure also. So do you want to make such a huge investment also and live in areas of United States which you may not have ever thought of doing in the first place? So do you want to do that just because you want to invite the regional center route to EB5? And if you carefully review all these points that I've just discussed with you, you will realize that you will clearly get to the reason why 95% of the people, investors into the EB5 program, or more than 95%, go through a regional center route and not through the direct investment route. Essentially, in a nutshell, the costs that get associated by investing through a direct route can be on multiple counts and can be much more than the inconvenience that you are trying to avoid by investing into a regional center. And over a long term, those costs are much more than the savings that you may try to make by avoiding to make investment through a regional center.